Today's episode is food that will get you laid. Cynation TV.
Oh yeah!
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Cuisine Nue. Today's episode is brought to you by Red Bull. Not because we're sponsored by them, but because I am fucking knackered.
Woo! Red Bull.
Coincidentally, guys at Red Bull, if you want to sponsor us, we would love that. Just send us like a truckload of these and we will post the shit out of it.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
Anyway, today we are going to be making steak, mash, and veg. Now, I know that sounds pretty boring, but we're doing something special with the mash. We're going to do a truffle mash. And we're doing two meals. We're gonna have like a little bit of a cheat day style dinner, but a lot of the ingredients are gonna go into meal prep for this week as well. So we'll be eating a lot of chicken. We're honestly getting a bit sick of it, so we're gonna mix it up with a bit of beef this week. You shouldn't eat too much red meat. That's not good for you. But look, we haven't had red meat in a while. We've had like 2 or 3 weeks of just chicken, so it's time for some red.
Been a lot of chicken.
So let's bring you to ingredients. Steak. We've got finest Australian Angus beef, Porterhouse. No added hormones. Now, you don't eat steak all the time, you shouldn't. But when you do, get the best steak money can buy. I mean, look at this steak. It's so damn good, it's got a security tag in it because people try to steal it. Garlic, minced, lazy. Bag of vegetables. You can get these frozen. I'll show you how we made them real easy. Once again, lazy. Now, over here from Colonial Market, we have this very special, I'll get the sticker off so I can show it to you properly. Never mind. It's called Farmhouse Gold. It's extra creamy milk, cream on top. Like if you wanted milk to this consistency, in most places you'd struggle to find it, so just get cream, yeah? But we're using this super creamy milk. I'll show you the consistency later. Oh, of course, mash. We're gonna need potatoes. Now, I use Dutch cream potatoes. Yep, if you can't get Dutch cream potatoes, get whatever potatoes you can get, but these will make the best mash you've ever had. Here's what they look like when you get them. You're just gonna have to wash off the mud and give it a peel.
Ooh,
like
that's
real
great.
organic, right out of the ground.
Dirty.
The way I like it. Ooh.
Spicy.
You're gonna need butter. Now, you can get, I recommend Western Star. I love Western Star. I'll get an endorsement from Western Star if I could. So yeah, chef's choice, unsalted. You can get salted if you want, but I like to control, the seasoning myself. Now our sauce, we're gonna do something special. It's a bit of a mix between a salsa and a chimichurri style sauce, which is not something you see very often with steaks, but that's what's gonna make it special.
Question, what's chimichurri?
It's, you can say it's a South American style dressing made out of olive oil, chilies, parsley, coriander, herbs and oil basically. I've got a multitude of ingredients here. I may not use all of them, or I'm pretty sure I will actually now I've got them out. So we've got bird's eye chili, regular chilies, got a bit of Tabasco sauce if I want to kick up the heat quotient, roasted peppers, pickled jalapenos and chilies.
Jalapeno.
It's just different. We want different variations of heat and flavor. The leftover medley of tomatoes from our last episode, but nothing goes to waste. Got continental parsley, also known as flat leaf parsley, as you can see here, and coriander. And very importantly, all kitchens you should have your salt, your pepper, and your extra virgin olive oil. And those are things that we'll be using today as well. And as a little treat, to make it a bit more fun, we have here Polish sausage.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Hoy, look at
This
that.
stuff is sensational. You can see why the Germans. Now, over Christmas, somebody, I can't remember who, probably was ourselves really, got us a really nice gift. It was a packet of truffle related items, truffle oil, truffle salt, and this beautiful truffle cream. We also have some truffle mustard, but we're not using that today. So these things are what's gonna take your mash from, you know, meh, kind of like regular hobo food, to pow! High-end fine dining. Today's episode is food that will get you laid. Woo! And if it doesn't, like, at least you get a good feed.
You stubby bastard.
Purée de pommes de terre.
Alright, so all I'm doing right now is just peeling these potatoes, rinse a bit of the mud off, and here's how you peel. You get a peeler. Pretty self-explanatory really, like,
Just peel it.
I kind of expect if you're watching this video and you're learning how to cook it, these are some basics you should know. Like if I say peel potato, you're like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, yeah, you're in trouble, man. Alright, so with the potatoes, they're about this size. I just want to cut them into smaller pieces. So roughly about quarters, just so that they cook quickly and they're easy to mash. So we'll just finish up here, and then we'll show you how we boil it up and mash them into the pot. Alright, so we've got our potatoes chopped up. We've got them in the pot here. Add some boiling water. You need enough water to cover the potatoes. Now I've got a pretty big pot here, but that's just going to make it easier for me to mash them later on. So yep, that's just a nice amount of water. To that we want a pinch of salt.
Just a pinch.
Yep.
2 pinches maybe?
Let that come to the boil, and then you can turn the heat down, and I'll show you when we know the potatoes are done. I'm sorry if I don't give you guys accurate timings and for cooking and all that. Just go by feel.
It's an important part of cooking. You gotta feel the food.
Les légumes.
The bag of vegetables I've already done ahead of time. Really simple. Get a pot, half fill with water, bring it to the boil. Once the water comes to the boil, chuck in those frozen vegetables, turn the heat off, let them simmer for 2 minutes, drain it, and while it's steaming hot, I've just added salt, pepper, and a nice knob of butter. Alright, let's get the butter down there. Oh, nice big pot of veg. Now we're not going to have all this veg for tonight, there's more than we need, but we're going to end up using it for meal prep as well. Honestly, the only cheat part of today's meal is the truffle mash. So that's your cheat part. So I've mixed it in with the butter, and that's good to go. Let's just leave it, let it cool down, and that will go into our containers later on.
Very nice.
Les steaks de bœuf.
Now, an important thing to mention as well is that I've taken the steaks out of the fridge. You don't want to put a cold steak into a hot pan. You want to let the steaks come to room temperature. So from the start, while we're prepping everything else, get your steaks out, let them sit in the room, come to room temperature. So when you're ready to cook, they're the right temperature. So let's get on to our sauce.
A what?
Sauce!
Oh, sauce!
La sauce.
Speaking! Sauce!
Here's where we're gonna, like, you know, freestyle it a bit. Like, what goes in? A bit of this, a bit of that. That's where it gets fun, right?
Free
Like,
market.
I understand, basically I want to use all this stuff here. How we want it to taste exactly, that's what we're gonna find out. So that's why I can't tell you how much of each thing I'm using. That's why we're just gonna go along the way. I find it needs a bit more this, a bit more that. Now you can use regular tomatoes, but because I've got these left over, they're gorgeous, we're gonna use them. So this is the salsa part of it, where we're using tomatoes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut them and have them chopped up into like nice little dices. So this is where salsa meets chimichurri.
Salsa, it's chimichurri.
Now, they're from different countries, but you know, they're both south of the border. So I reckon they should go together.
Anything south must be the same thing. Yes, yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know about Argentina. I don't think I know about Argentina is Lionel Messi.
Why is Argentina?
Plays for Argentina.
Well, not everyone who's from.
pretty sure you have to be a citizen if you play for the national team.
Really? But don't they just kind of like buy and sell players as they, you know?
Yeah, when you're talking about the league level. Now this is just turning into another discussion. When you play for the country, you have to be a citizen.
Oh, like in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Learning new things all the time on Cuisine Nue.
So apparently Argentina, it's a country. So yeah, kind of like this. And this is gonna look gorgeous because we've got this beautiful medley of tomatoes. Don't worry about chopping them too properly. We're just gonna give them a real rough chop. Into little dices. You could chuck this into a blender to speed things up, but there's something about cutting stuff by hand, like it gives it that nice rustic, you know, homemade quality. And since this is an episode on cooking get laid, if she sees you put effort in, yep. So learn how to cook, boys.
Put effort in.
I can tell you, a lot of people these days can't do it, men or women.
Sad. We need to get to cooking again.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to eat, you cook.
I think everybody should get back to the kitchen. Everybody make me a sandwich.
It's, you know, why wouldn't you learn how to cook? You know how much money you save? You know how much this meal would cost us if we ate it on the outside?
And it's a personal touch. You can tailor make all of your meals to yourself.
Exactly.
So you can't blame anyone for like, oh, you know, this meal's I want it gluten free, I want it vegan. Just make it yourself. Then the only person you have to blame is you.
Very important skill.
It is. Like changing a tire.
That would be another episode. Cynation changes his tire.
Hey, it's very important. I'm sure it's the kind of thing everybody needs
With
to
all the
know.
road trips we do, I mean, at some point, that's a very real possibility.
Cynation changes a tire.
If I do it, it'll be a 5-minute episode. If Aaron does it, then like get ready for an hour-long special.
It's gonna be a nice indie film kind of length. Real nice low production value.
So we definitely want coriander. These are great. I want all of it, alright? Don't waste a thing.
That's the whole packet.
Yep. One
Got the whole packet.
It's okay to make more of this chimichurri slash salsa-churri.
Salsa-Churri, yeah, I like that.
Salsa-Churri. You make more of these and you just keep them in the fridge and you just add it to whatever you want. Just like the gyeongyong from the other day's chicken and rice episode.
It's just like a handy sauce you just carry.
Yep, and that can just add life to whatever it is you're cooking. So roll it up, real fine chop. Wow, you can't smell it, but that coriander,
I'm trying to get a whiff from over here.
that's so pungent.
So you want to get into that real fine stage again?
Yeah, not too fine. I think, look, I mean, you're trying to impress someone with this meal, but they're probably just going to be grateful you cooked for them.
But it will look pretty though.
Yep.
And that's another element that we will explore as well. Composition.
Plating.
Plating. Need to learn my proper terms, I do.
Yes, we will come to plating later. I mean, we don't have like, I used to have really nice plates, but we don't have any at the moment. That's alright, there's so many ways to, it's a lot of, you like to do it a more rustic style, you serve it up on a wooden board. No, seriously, do that, man. You ever been to a gastropub?
I think Macca's has started to do that now.
Alright, the potatoes come to a boil, we're going to turn the heat down, let it come to a simmer. There we go.
Boiling.
Potatoes! What? Potatoes, precious!
So while we carry out the sauce, the potatoes will cook away and we'll check them in a little bit. I've also got some parsley. Beautiful flat leaf parsley. We want to use all of it as well. A lot of herbs in this, and herbs are really good for you.
It's vegetables, isn't it?
And Asian cooking, it's interesting because if you go to like places like Thailand and Vietnam, they use herbs like the way we would use vegetables, like, you know, in their salads. They have salads that are just made up entirely of herbs. And it's just so crazy fragrant or pungent. Even parsley, if you have a smell, it's got a nice lemony sort of smell. Flat leaf parsley. There was a time back in like the 80s, 90s, curly parsley was very popular.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's trends in food, just like with everything else, and curly parsley's kind of fallen out of vogue a little bit.
What was the appeal of curly parsley?
Honestly, it's got hardly any flavor, like much less flavor than.
Is it just because it's curly?
Yeah, it was one of those pointless garnishes that didn't really do anything to the dish, and I don't believe in pointless garnishes. Like, even when I'm doing a nice, I don't believe in that. Like, everything on the plate's got to have a purpose when I cook. If you can't eat it and it doesn't add anything to the meal, then it's a waste of space.
And don't put it in.
Exactly. So you can see our Salsa-Churri is coming together.
Salsa-Churri.
Trademark Cynation TV, Salsa-Churri.
Yeah, you get the recipe and the ingredients, learn how to make your own.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, man. You got some fusion style and learn about chimichurri.
It's gonna be a real, like, fragrant, pungent, aromatic sauce.
Sauce. So we got real sort of international. Your sauce kind of covers, you know, Latin America. Your truffle covers Italy.
Beautiful. It's good.
Ooh, what's that?
Pour some of that liquid.
Ooh, what's that? Chili?
Roasted peppers.
Oh, snap.
It's already done for you. You can do it yourself, but. So I want to give these a good chop as well. Let's get some, let's say about, yeah, that much. So in this case, we're not gonna have to add any acid to our sauce or dressing today because there's already like vinegar coating these vegetables. So if you give these rough chop, like they are nice. Basically what they do is they get peppers, bell peppers, you know, chuck them in the fire or ideally over some charcoal, let the skin char off. So it gets nice and tender and it takes on a bit of that smoke flavor.
And then they soak it in vinegar.
Yeah, well they peel the burnt skin off and then they just preserve the rest in vinegar. And then you get these. So it'll give it a nice, this will form part of the base of our sauce. So this is gonna be one of those sauces, like it's gonna go to flavor town and then some.
Ooh.
You got smoky, you got acidic, it's, you know, fragrant from the herbs. It's got everything.
Real flavor explosion, man.
Precisely. Now we're also gonna do the same thing. Look
You
at
saw
these
the-
pickled jalapenos and chilies. These are sensational.
Ooh, some splashed out.
Oops. Same
You're
thing, I
gonna
want to give
chop
them a
these.
pretty fine chop. Now these are nice, but they don't have that much heat. That's why I've got the bird's eye chilies over there. So I'm going to put it just a little bit for now. Because we want them more for the flavor rather than the heat. We'll get the heat from our bird's eyes.
And jalapenos have a kind of like sourish flavor, don't they?
Well, these pickled jalapenos are because of the pickling process, but normal jalapenos are just a green chili.
Oh, okay.
Not particularly spicy.
It's more flavorful.
They're really nice. The fresh jalapenos, you can use them, you can roast them. Here's a fun fact. Chipotle chilies are actually jalapenos that have been smoked.
Yeah. I didn't know there was such thing as chipotle chilies.
Yeah, that's what chipotle is. It's a jalapeno that's been smoked.
Thought it was just a sauce.
Well, that's what chipotle sauce is. It's smoked jalapenos made into a sauce, basically.
Now the question is, how many times can I get him to repeat that? So what's chipotle again?
Rewind. Double tap on the left. So, fairly fine chop. You don't have to turn it to mush. It's nice to have pieces, like in your salsa.
Sort of like, not cubes, but like cubettes. Tiny little quarters of your quarters.
So that's why I don't like the blender, because the blender's just going to turn everything into a paste and mush, right? I do want to have a bit of texture in the sauce as well.
Because otherwise you sort of lose a degree of control with the blender as well.
I mean, you can pulse it, but it's not the same as when you do things by hand, you know? And then we also want to add a bit of garlic to that.
Always
Now,
garlic.
because we're using like raw garlic, it's gonna have a bit of a pungency to it as well, which will add to that slight spiciness of it. Now, the only other things that will go in here are bits of olive oil, which will balance out with salt, and a bit more of that pickle juice for our acid. If you didn't want to use that, you can also use lime juice. But since we got this, we're not going to need it today.
Very nice.
Les pommes de terre sont faites.
Alright, these potatoes should be about done.
It's pretty damn quick.
Yeah, boiling one couple of minutes here. I'm gonna check them out. Just try to press them. Yeah, they smash up pretty nicely. They're done. So turn off your flame. We're gonna drain these. Be careful because this will be very hot. We've got our strainer over there. Put this veg aside. Probably shouldn't be doing this topless.
Note to self: if you're gonna do this topless, just prepare to get some hot flashes.
That's hot. That's hot. Oh, it's steaming hot. Get it back into the pot. Now, to your potato, we want to add the butter.
The butter.
How much butter do you put into mash?
How much butter do you put into mash?
You can't put too. I'm gonna put a nice. Look at the size of that.
Ooh.
I know that's massive, but you know, we're gonna get our director here to help out with the mashing in a little bit.
Oh yeah. It's a very laborious process.
Yeah, it's the most tiring part. Now to that, we will add a bit of this truffle oil.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use.
Question.
Yes.
Truffles and truffle products. I guess it's just more. What do you think about it? What's your stance on them?
I'm not crazy about them. Like I think they do add something to the meal, but they are so ridiculously expensive. Like crazy expensive truffles. Seriously. All right, come and have a look at this. Yeah, this milk that we've got. It's extra creamy. Which, like I said, you'll struggle to find milk like this. You see, it's even got lumps. It hasn't gone off. That's cream.
Oh yeah, you can see little chunks in there.
See, look how easy that mashes up.
Oh wow, oh, yeah, that's a block of butter right there.
I've just put a little bit of that truffle oil. Can you smell that? The truffle rising?
Mmm. It's a very sort of like deep flavor. It's not a sharp, dull kind of
One of
smell.
the best descriptions of what truffles taste like, I read, they said truffles are like a cross between sex and death. It's like both amazing and horrible at the same time. But somehow... So basically, truffles are necrophilia.
By that logic.
Guess that's what the bourgeois like. Oh. And we're gonna use regular salt for most of it, but because we have this amazing truffle salt, you see here the little specks of truffle, that's how pungent they are. Just tiny little specks flavor that salt. Not too much. Just go easy with truffles, yeah, because they are really pungent. Alright, and I'll let our director take over here.
Smarter. Just gonna get some of that. Oh, look at that. He's let me take over the laborious process.
I want you to just mash that till it is an absolutely smooth paste.
I'm also trying to get this butter. Really just kind of spread that butter that's just down there. Really trying to get it all around and evenly coating around everything as I just smush it into each other and the walls of this. Gives you a nice workout as well.
If you want like a smoother consistency, you can start passing it through a sieve as well.
Ooh, a sieve. I feel like you have to get a little bit further than this first. I'm trying to bash all the little... Ah, take that! Bash all the little pieces into even little pieces.
Yeah. In fact, let's show people how it's done with the sieve. You want to take this for a minute?
Yeah, let's have a look at this sieve method.
There's actually a piece of cooking equipment called a tami.
Tami?
Which kind of looks like this. It's like it's a really fine mash that you put over and then you mash things through. So this is what like your fine dining places would use when they want to get that super smooth consistency. We'll just use a sieve here. Alright. So I'll show you how it's done. So you put it in, alright, and then you work it through the sieve. Now that takes ages, but if you really want the smooth consistency, that's how it's gonna have to be done. You see that stuff going? That?
Ever so. Wow.
Will be the smoothest mash you've ever had.
Some. Mmm. It's so smooth.
Alright. So
What do you reckon? Are we doing that style or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this case, once we've got it through, just scrape. Oh shit! Scrape it off with a spoon into, and I'll let our Mr. Director carry on doing the rest of this. And you will get. Look at that mash. Look at that. That's restaurant standard.
Oh, you see. That's lovely, nice and smooth.
Alright, so over here we've got our finished. Honestly, this was a bit of an experiment. I've never done anything like this. Well, I mean, I've done stuff like this, but it's just a crazy idea to combine a salsa with a chimichurri style sauce. So this is what we call our Salsa-Churri. Spicy, sour, salty, and just an explosion of flavor. Just to recap, we've got tomatoes, parsley, coriander, garlic, jalapeno, smoked peppers. I've put in a bit of Tabasco sauce, bird's eye chili for heat. It's got plenty of heat in this. Salt to taste. Add as much salt as you feel is right. And it's got garlic, so this is an absolute flavor explosion. Pow! This will go great with any meat. Red meat, white meat, seafood, anything.
Nice. It's a real flexible. It's the flavor base.
Yep. It's flavor fluid.
Flavor fluid. That's dirty.
We also have here, here's a nice piece of Angus Porterhouse.
Ooh.
Now, steak is one of those things that there's so many different ideas on how to cook steak, and sometimes people get scared to buy expensive cuts of meat because they're worried they're gonna, fuck it up, right? But steak's not difficult. It's nothing to be terrified of, okay? The way I do steak is Heston Blumenthal's way. I have a lot of respect for the man when it comes to the kitchen, and if Heston says it's good, it's good. All we're gonna do over here, preheat a pan, little bit of oil. We really need a screaming hot pan for a good steak. Now, steak, don't put pepper on your steak. That's what I have been, well, not taught, but what I learned from Heston, because when pepper burns, it can go a bit bitter. Add your pepper, let people add it themselves at the table. So we just want to salt it. Nice, good amount of salt, and you'll get that nice crust. All right. And this steak, don't forget, has been resting to room temperature. Yes. That's the other really important thing as well, is resting your meat. So let's come over to the stove now. I will use a pair of tongs for this. It's a bit easier to handle the steak. Where are the big tongs? This is very unprofessional.
Well, it's home cooking, you know, when you're in your own kitchen, you can't always find your tools, but
these are little ones, but
be organized.
I'll just risk getting burnt, I guess. So once again, screaming hot pan, yeah?
Le kielbasa.
Meantime, over here, we've got this Polish sausage.
Ooh.
So we're gonna give them reasonably nice, thick slices, which we're gonna just cook in the pan later on. Oh, look at that. This is just a bit of a treat today, because I saw it, they had it at Colonial Market, and ooh, look at the peppercorns infused, look at that fat that's all gonna render out.
Beautiful. Look at that slice. I do love myself a good Polish sausage. Barossa, I believe he called it. Let's have a look at that.
Barossa?
That's what he said, right?
It's Kielbasa.
Kielbasa?
Barossa is in South Australia, man.
Oh yeah, I think maybe these are... Maybe the Polish sausages from South Australia. Oh, look at that neat quality. You can see every layer that goes in there.
This is quality sausage, like none of that, crappy, chemically factory sausage. Like this is quality. Look at that.
I
don't know. This skin has to be. Yes, the skin needs to be taken off.
Oh really? Note to self, for these kinds of Polish sausages, you must remove the skin.
It seems to be unnaturally tough. So we'll get back to the pan. I believe the heat should be about right. We'll come back to these. Yes. Oh, see that heat? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Woohoo!
Now, different people say different things. Some people say that, you know, you shouldn't turn your meat too much. I think it's fine. Now that looks like a lot of salt, but don't forget that's just the surface. This is a really thick steak. It's a pretty quick meal, because this is like date food, right? And if you're getting ready for a date, you don't want to waste too much time in the kitchen, because you got to save some time. Maybe you got to go trim your cash stash. Don't Google that.
Please Google that.
I don't want to move it too soon. I want to give the pan to really give it a nice sear, yeah? Where you get those nice char marks on the meat. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. That is delightful.
Look at that. And there's plenty of fat in this meat. That'll render out as well. You look, oh, we've got a thief stealing some mesh.
Smash stealer!
Look
I
at that.
caught
fat
you.
crisping up.
Oi, hey, look at that. Oi.
Now, I'm not gonna show you like, you know, rare, medium rare, well done, medium well. To me, there's only one way to cook a steak. And it's like they say down in Texas, whop its rear and set 'em here. Which means bloody as hell.
They say that in Texas?
Whop its rear and send 'em here.
Go down to Texas and they're like, we don't say that.
I don't even whop its rear.
Ah, barnyardy taste, man.
Now, very important thing when cooking steak or honestly any meat is you have to rest it. If you take a hot steak and you know, cut into it straight away, all that juice is gonna go bleh.
No, man.
Let it rest so it can like kind of hold it together again, and you won't get that problem.
Oh. It also retains all that juiciness as well.
Alright.
Ooh, nicely cooked on both sides.
On the side a bit.
Looks almost like a pork fillet.
So it's still pretty bloody in the middle, and you go by feel. This will be pretty rare the way it is right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it rest after it's done cooking, and I'll slice it. And look, in some countries you go to, they believe there's only one way to cook a steak. You know, honestly, in my book, well done is a crime. You should never do a steak well done. So that's the other thing about Heston's way as well, is he says keep flipping it every like 20 seconds. Which is interesting, and I do that. It's just that initially I like to give it a chance to get a good char first.
And generally, like, you know, the more rare it is versus the more well done, like, rare tends to be juicier, tender, a little bit more tender.
It's a textural thing, right? Honestly, I think this is there. Wipe its rear, send 'em here.
Just like that.
And now we let this baby rest. Don't touch it.
Rest. Rest. We've got them sausages. Ah, potato stealer! Mash stealer! Hey, what's this guy doing over here? Oh, he's laying down them sausages. This here is a Polish sausage.
Yeah, Warsaw style.
Warsaw.
Warsaw style.
Warsaw style. Yaximaz. Oh yeah, but Yaximaz is actually like a how do you do in Polish.
And Dziękuję?
No, I Google translated it. Dziękuję is not a one. Well, if you want to be more casual in Poland, you want to say hello, hey, you gotta go cześć. Apparently, Yaximaz is it's what old people say.
What if you say whoa whoa wee whoa?
Whoa, 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 that is international.
How much?
How much? Well, this meal actually here, a little bit more expensive than the other meals, but still not like bank breaking. Reasonable for a day. Or to just feed yourself.
These sausages, they're just like a naughty little treat. Because you don't eat all of it, you have a little bit. You gotta sometimes, you know?
Gotta get a bit naughty. Wow, that's lovely. That's just a real nice level of cooking them.
I just want to sear them a little bit. They're already delicious.
Ooh, I love the smell of that.
What, quick in the morning?
Well, not quite. I agree.
So it'd be interesting, like now that we're, having this, some of the fat from the sausage renders out.
Ooh.
And then we're gonna cook our steak in it.
Ooh. It's a real, fusion of flavors.
But remember, like I said, like we don't eat like this every meal, yeah? We have one clean meal and one meal. This is the semi-clean meal. If you like portion the truffle mash and just have a little bit, you'll be alright. Don't, like in the words of Andrew, go shit crazy.
Yeah, like you gotta have some self-control, that way you can still enjoy these things. Just don't gorge, Don't stuff your face. Portion control, mate.
That's gorgeous sausage.
Beautiful glisten on that. Lovely sausage.
Like if you just eat rich fatty food all the time, honestly, you'll get sick of it. It's like too much cocaine. Oh, right in the mommy daddy button. Yeah, put a top on if you're cooking.
Singlet don't count, because,
But if, you're a good looking lady and you want to cook topless, send any photos to cinationband@gmail.com.
Everybody can send in a topless photo, but, not everybody.
Just send it in. I mean, if
We'll still probably look at it.
Aaron will.
I have to sift through the junk mail. And trust me, the last thing I want to do and sift through the junk mail is look at your junk. Your mail junk.
That's his favorite.
Side note, resting your steak.
Anglais stupide.
Now, how long you rest a steak for, it's approximately half as long as you cooked it for.
Oh.
But I have no idea how long I cooked it for, so I wouldn't know what half is. Eyeball it.
Eyeball.
Well, what I'm going to show you guys, I'm just going to slice this open.
Ooh, yeah, get a nice look at that.
So you guys can have a look.
Whoa, look at that.
So this is not that red. I mean, I like that. I'm happy with that. You happy with that?
It's quite nice.
Get it in.
Look at that. Ooh, look at those slices.
Look at that.
So just a little bit bloody, but not like oozing out bloody,
It's not oozing because we let our meat rest. Oh, look at the blush on that. You think I saw that beef changing?
I just got that. So lay. Oh, look at that cut. Look at, boy. The quality of that meat right there.
Gorgeous, isn't it? Look at that. Nice Australian Angus.
Stunning.
Plating et présentation.
I'm going to show you what we call well, not what I call, it's what the French call quenelle.
Quenelle? You're gonna have to tell me how to spell that later.
You look it up.
I'll Google.
Come on with me. I'm not very good at this, but
This is the mashed potato.
no, you can do quenelles of ice cream. So like I said, yeah, I'm not very good at doing quenelles, but I'll try my best. So 2 spoons, just keep rotating.
As sort of pristine as you can.
So that's a quenelle. It's just a fancy way of scooping.
Francis scoop.
One more time. Like I said, I'm not very good at this and I don't do it very often. That's why I'm a bit slow and they're not that pretty. But But this is a bit more effort. Looks better than just lodging on the plate. Another way to do it is you can get a piping bag. I don't like doing that because it kind of looks like a mashed potato piece of turd. This is something, yeah, fancy restaurants like to do quenelles. But it kind of looks like two balls.
They look like durian.
And then we want some of our vegetable.
Vegetable. Ooh, is this every plate?
A nice piece of steak. Like you want to show your date that you're not stingy, you know? Let her know that she's special because you gave her some Polish sausage.
And then if you are Polish, you can then later give up some Polish sausage.
We apologize to the people of Warsaw.
We are sure you have very nice sausage. Well, you know, there it is. It looks lovely. It smells lovely. So, nice sausage.
And then finishing touch on the side.
Chimichurri.
How beautiful. Chimichurri. I just drill some of the chimichurri juice over the veg. And our director can taste that, so I'll bring that to the table.
Voila. Look at that. Absolutely stellar. Stellar meal, mate.
And I get to try it.
Bon appetit.
So I was gonna try each little bit first off. I just love this mashed potato, so I was gonna. Having been the one who mashed the mashed potato, it's so smooth and so fine, so lovely to dine.
What?
And tonight, my sweet mash, I will make you all mine. Have some of this Salsa-Churri. So fragrant. Sour and spicy. For the kick. Some steak.
Look how that steak's cooked.
Glimpse the edge there. You can see. This is nice.
If you want to be left alone for a minute.
That's just give me. Don't worry, I only need half a minute. Let's try some of this Polish sausage.
Honestly, like at this stage, you don't even give a shit if your date turned up.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what date? It is for me, Steven. Such a nice salty sausage, but like so evenly spread out. This, or have some the strong flavor. I would highly recommend you get some of this. You get some of the veg and some mash, and that's one fork. That. So you're really playing around here with your flavors, where you got a nice combo of like a little bit more subtle, like the mash, and strong, like the sausage.
You want to take a piece of steak with some of that Salsa-Churri?
Almost definitely. Nice. Whoa, look at that coloration inside.
Like I said, wipe its rear and center mirror. Can we have a look at that?
Look at that coloration.
That's a good
nice and pink. You know, you don't want it bleeding.
That's my favorite.
Alright, so some of that Salsa-Churri.
Alright, I think we'll leave you alone now. Signing off.
Please let me finish this whole thing.